Titus and Kevin McCallum. Not the sports news.
There you go. Moneni Pirates.
Yeah.
Who were playing Royal Leopards in the Ingwenyama Cup final at some Hlolo Stadium. And anyway, she was there dancing.
And she might be putting money into them. So goal.com have had a very cheeky headline saying Mama Kezi is going to buy Pirates. And obviously they don't mention what Pirates it is.
Yeah. But I guess that is a catchy headline, you know, clickbait.
Yeah.
But I just wish that she, before she went over seeking new opportunity, that she would actually first see the one that is embroiled and embattled and bruised and broken to health of some sort before it is that she then hopped on over. I'm not saying don't do it, Kev.
Yeah.
I'm not. All I'm saying is, can we just do justice to a team that has failed to honor fixtures, a team that has failed to pay players, a team that we don't even know what's going to happen with because we're waiting for the end of April, right? Or any minute now.
Mm-hmm. No, it was actually decisions being made today.
10th of April? Yeah.
10th of April, it's today, yeah. So I've seen Far Post reporting.
I have no hope
of
today. That's why I'm just saying end of April.
Well, they say, well, it says according to News 24, and hopefully they're right. And Far Post as well, saying today, just 44 months after she bought it, today's the day that the rest of the PSL vote on whether she keeps her status.
I don't think she'll keep the status, not based on where she is now and what it is that she's doing. And as I said, I'm not against continue with the business because at the end of the day, businesses fail. Businesses fail every day, right? It's not like anyone who opens a business is immune to that. You're going to have difficulties. But here's one that is so public, right? Because a failing business that isn't really maybe in football, for example, or in sport, we're not talking about it, right? But this one happens to go down so publicly. All the details are out there. You know, we're pecking away at it like vultures as well. But then again, it's also on the other side, people's lives. There's just so much that I just felt, Mam Kiza, that maybe if you could have maybe just saw this one to rest first and then pop up in your new business bid respectfully.
I don't know about her in business. She goes bankrupt more often than Donald Trump.
Look, Kev, who knows? Who knows? Maybe, it's lesser money that she's needed on that side. Maybe she has that. Maybe the amount of money she has is not even going to make a dent into what she owes on this side. Curatorship is now taken over. Maybe that's a whole new business plan, business partners. And again, as I said, I'm not against it. For me, I just feel, could you not have just seen this one off?
Yeah. Before you start destroying
and
somebody else's lives.
And wave it goodbye and maybe even give us a media statement if you would, because we haven't heard anything from anybody actually.
She's supposed to be speaking to the PSL today to apologise.
But then can she speak to all of us too?
Yeah.
You know, and stakeholders of the game. So I'm
You're wary at best.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's almost like that money
wary
that
and
she
weary.
ran onto the pitch with and gave everybody. For me, it feels... help me with the words today. It feels...
trashy.
There's a better word I'm looking for.
Greedy.
No, it feels...
unethical.
Cheap.
Oh, there we go. We were going to get there.
You know, it just feels like whatever, and I'm on to the next one.
But there's going to be some good news today. So we've got some good news on the show, and we've got a bit of bad news, but we've also got some stories that make you feel good. We're going to be speaking to Andrew Hope, who's a Supersport presenter.
I like that.
And
Hope.
he's
Some hope.
he's going to talk to us about the Masters coming up this weekend. So we've got a big weekend of sport coming up. But last night, we had good news and bad news. Pirates.
That was the good news, though.
But then the fighting afterwards.
That was the bad news. And obviously, having chatted to Sponiso Masango, the guy who saved Fituri, the man that was hanging off the side of Loftus Stadium the other evening, why, guys? Why do we need to fight? Why?
Yeah.
Does it need to get ugly? You know, and it's not even going to change the score. Nothing changes, right? Whether I beat you up right now or not, it changes nothing. The game is over. We are through.
Exactly.
Sundowns are through. We as South Africans are
through. And then the Pirates fans jumped onto the
Stellies
field as well. It was just a bit ugly, and it wasn't.
I don't understand why we need to have these scenes. And also, I think under a microscope, we actually need to see who are the shit stirrers here.
Yeah.
Who are they, right? Because at the end of the day, there are fines that are imposed. CAF will come, there's video footage, obviously. So let's zoom in, because if it is that it's not our own supporters causing the mayhem, and it is the visitors, well, then a steeper penalty needs to be imposed on our visitors if it is that they're going to bring our game into disrepute, especially on home soil. So again, I think fans are going to go the murin if they want to, regardless, because what? You hop on a plane and you go home and what? There's no recourse until you visit again, and then there's another fight. But we don't have to fight, guys. We don't have to fight, man.
How proud must your family be to see you fighting on TV? I mean, Coach Riviera was in a good place afterwards. He's not the most sort of emphatic sort of person.
No, he isn't. Like that face.
But you'll hear this. I think that's by the way he's losing.
Hold on, Kevin. I think like he has Botox, because nothing ever moves. Everything is just look like there's nothing. It's just like deadpan.
Deadpan.
Always.
Well, this is what his voice sounds like after he's in the semi-finals, and this is deadpan.
Interesting and long journey in this competition for us, probably much longer than what everybody expected at the beginning of the season. And here we are. We got the right to be in a semi-final of the maximum African competition, continental. It's something that it's a special day for all of us as a group, as a team. We've been working so hard to prove that we belong to this space, that we are capable to play and to compete with the best ones in our space. And today and all around these two games, I think we showed that we are competitive enough, that we are professional enough, that we are prepared, that we want. And I think it's a well-deserved victory for the team, for the club, for our fans as well, which are an example about the way that you must participate and live in a football game, which is
the way you must participate, and there was another 20 minutes of that. I mean, I think people at the back were falling asleep. I just played it for him to do. I mean, he's now had to sit down, take a moment.
He was so happy that he's even given me like a cup of coffee this morning.
Has he made you coffee?
He made me coffee. And I also said, like, how great would it be if it was an all South African final? Dude's not up for that. He's just like vehemently, hell no.
So it's Sundowns Al Ahly and then Pirates against Pyramids. So it's us against Egypt, basically.
Yeah.
And then more good news is Stellenbosch beat Zamalek, Black Label. 1-0 at home. So the 1-0 after, but they drew 0-0 at home in the second leg. That's brilliant. Good for Steve Barker. I mean, that is just an outstanding result.
No, it is. And obviously, Stellies meet the Tanzanian club. That's Simba FC, hosted by Coach Fadlu Davids. And I was in Tanzania, actually, in December. And there was actually a game. Do you know that everywhere just comes to a standstill? It was so amazing to watch. Yes. And even like little shops on the corners have their own TVs, and everybody just gathers and sits and watches. And so I was trying to shop, but I also I lost the group I was with, because I also stopped and like started watching and clapping and shouting. And it was just nice to be away from home and seeing a South African coach a team that so many were in support of. So just from the outside, like looking in, it was absolutely beautiful.
Very cool. But to beat Zamalek is a huge step. I mean, for so-called little Stellies. I'm not going to call them little Stellies anymore.
They're not. I mean, little by probably the town they're from, but not little in stature or little in the strides that they're making in football.
And going to build their own stadium soon, apparently.
Yes.
But plans are afoot.
Wasn't that the story I was trying to get to the bottom of the other day?
Yeah,
Was it?
Well, it was basically about people building their own stadium. So there was Cape Town City wanted to build their own stadium.
It was City, actually, that wanted to build their own stadium. But then Ida's Valley as well. Like, keep that stadium. If anything, improve the stadium, because Ida's Valley really comes out in full force to support the team. Don't move it. Don't take it away. I mean, it's like a Bloemfontein Celtic. If you check the Siwelele hopefuls, take a game to Bloem and watch magic happen. And then you took Bloem Celtic out.
Yeah.
And that
messed it up.
Yeah, that community
Took
had
away,
nothing, So
exactly.
I think keep it rooted where it really is. And if anything, improve that stadium as opposed to building a whole new one.
So, other football news: the Prince of Wales took his eldest son George to the Champions League quarterfinal with Villa and PSG last night. He said, "I want George to experience a night out in a big European competition." And then they lost 3-1.
George.
I know, but they lost 3-1. But it was just like the last 90 seconds. They were 2-1, which would have been a good result going home.
How
But
old is
3-1.
George?
George must be about 8 or 9 now.
Oh, is it that old?
Yeah.
Already?
I remember there was a big poster coming out from the Sun whenever they first got engaged, and it said, "Kate likes Willie." Another guy we like is Lamine Yamal. He and Robert Lewandowski, who's 20 years his senior, basically smashed Borussia Dortmund 4-0. So that's the 144th goal this season.
What?
Dortmund. That Barcelona scored 144 goals this season. I mean, it's more than anybody else.
In one season.
Yep.
In one season.
Lewandowski scored his 39th and 40th goals of the season. Lamal was his 14th. And the only person above Lewandowski in the Champions League is actually Raphinha, his captain. I mean, that's just extraordinary.
144 goals. That is insane. If you take a look at our top goal scorer in our league at the moment, and we're not even in double digits yet.
No. Another goal scorer. We're going to show Mo Salah. So it looks like
problems.
Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk are going to be staying in Liverpool, which is great news.
Are you happy?
I am very happy.
We have a visitor who's also a Liverpool fan.
Give us a shout there. Hello. No, that's a little bit more.
He doesn't seem too happy about the decisions out at Liverpool.
He's got the classic New Balance top on as well, so that's very lekker. And do you take supplements?
I do.
Be careful.
Oh?
Next one. So researchers have found that 1 or more in 3 supplements
But I actually
contain
read a whole
substances.
book. I read a whole book on what substances to take and what is actually buffered, what is actually not real in the supplement. I taught myself, actually.
But yeah, I mean, the 1 in 3 of these contain.
You need to be careful because I saw the other day that you forgot to take your meds out of your pocket and then put it in the washing machine.
It was a panada. It's hardly meds. It was a panada. But yeah, so they basically, so half the supplements you buy, there's something a bit iffy in them. That's why athletes say, well, it was contaminated. And sometimes it is.
No, but it's contaminated purposely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you think about like a weight loss substance, I'm sure everything in a fat burner is
it's caffeine and
it's banned by WADA. But so why are we making this? And surely you should read the
ingredients.
Yeah, read the ingredients. But how many? Please give me more info.
Yeah, I think Rory McIlroy's little daughter is on some sort of steroid. She's 4 years old. Her name is Poppy. She sank a monster putt in the par 3 tournament to delight the Augusta crowd. This was on the eve of the 89th Masters. Her dad was happy as anything.
How important is Poppy becoming a part of the team, especially during the lows that you have to experience?
Yeah, look, it definitely makes the lows a little easier to take. But yeah, look, the highs are going to be high anyway, but it's amazing. I think especially, after the players, I think it was the first time that she sort of realized what I did, which was really cool. Also a little scary at the same time, but the day after the players, she went into school and there's a couple of kids that had said some stuff to her, and she came home to me that day and said, "Daddy, are you famous?" I said, "It depends who you talk to." So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. You have to temper the expectations sometimes, but look, she's as everyone knows that's had children, it's an amazing addition to life, and it's great that she's here this week.
It is great
cute,
for him. It
man.
is very
It is
cute.
cute.
He's
the other
had
one,
his
who is
ups
the
and
other one
downs.
that's trying to tell his daughter not to eat the grass?
So
It's Jordan Spieth.
Jordan Spieth told his wife not to eat the grass, and
No,
then
not the wife, the
not
daughter.
the wife, the daughter. Sorry, his wife. So his wife was caddying for him.
Yes.
And then John Ramsam Kepper took a direct approach to putting. He just kicked the ball from 30 feet away and almost got it in the hole.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to talk more golf after the break. Andrew
Yes.
Hood, who's a big golf nut, super sport commentator on golf. We're talking Masters golf.
Who are we talking to?
Andrew Hood. Hope.
Yes.
Hood. crap, I wrote it down here somewhere. Hood. His name is Hood. His name is Andrew Hood. Sorry. Coming up now.
Romy Titus and Kevin McCallum. Not the sports news.